wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia.
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander Worf, don't be a cunt.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for B4.
What can I do? People know love the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
What's true? That's why we gotta shine a light. Shine a light, shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. The Yannick channel. Zero news and now. Tom Generation Next. It's gonna shine a light. With you. Generation X.
Yo, Tom Fury, this is your news. How are we doing? Hope we're all doing good. It is a beautiful, somewhat end of March like evening in February. I don't know what date is it today, I can't even remember. The 24th. And February being generally speaking the coldest month of the year, it's been anything but. And we have potentially broken some records in different places in the country, but where I'm at, in the Hampshire area, it's been 16, and now it's I think it's due to be 18 tomorrow. But even the sun's heat is getting through. It's crazy. You know, this is the only time of year down here where there's a small chance of snow or whatever. But no, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to get out on it tomorrow, just to taste the summer, which should be really, really good. Anyway, there's a couple of things I want to talk about, one more than the other. So the one I don't want to talk about that much, I'll just get into. Look, I realise there's a bit of drama going on. I realise I'm not innocent in that, far from it. Here I am releasing, or not here, but there I was releasing videos, and I know not everyone will appreciate that. I get it, but I've been living in this fucking not just me, people have been living in this shadow and this gatekeeping and a lot of other things for a long time, and having to, you know, not just, again, it's not about like calling someone evil or not evil. I wouldn't call either of those people evil at all. It's just about not being able to criticise a damn thing or anything. It's like, it's just, that's fanaticism. And you know, when words like traitor and stuff like that are thrown around, which they were a lot, you know, these things will trigger some of us more than others, I'm afraid. But so what happens is, you know, you got to keep your mouth shut, because you know, all you're going to do is damage yourself and possibly the movement. So you do, and all this stuff happens, and it's not like you want to go, I told you so. It's more like a let off of anger and steam. You know, I told you, like, come here. So my hand still out there to Richard, simply because if he's anything like the Richard I knew in person still, he was a really lovely guy. And you can't judge online persona next to the person that you sit and spend the time having a pint with. I don't believe, anyway. And he's always been really decent. I don't know Paul Thorpe, and he doesn't need my help. And at least with Richard, with his audience, most of the time, he will acknowledge them. I'm not saying that Paul doesn't, because he does, but there's a hierarchy. Anyway, each to their own. But I don't want to keep on about it. Obviously, when news comes up, you can't help. But like I say, just understand, it's been a very long time of getting a lot of verbal punches in the mouth and being told to shut up for dividing. And the very people making these charges end up being the ones doing the very same thing, and end up being shown to be, at times, hypocrites. And it's obvious, by the way, in certain numbers I'm seeing, in certain posts I'm seeing, it's not a me thing, it's an everybody thing. It doesn't make me right about everything I've ever said, by the way. It's just, like I say, it's been a frustrating time, because you can't, if I have an opinion, it's not the same as when they do, so it was a problem. I feel like the playing field's even now, and now we can all just talk, and hopefully, because I don't want to be, I really don't. I remember seeing some of the movement, who I won't name, and he ended up going from activism to just slagging everybody else off in the movement, until everybody ended up hating him. I can't forget I do remember his name, but I don't want to share it. And I just remember thinking, oh man, you just got bitter, and so I wouldn't want to end up like that. So that's not what this is about. None of this has ever been about a quest to see them topple. Not that I could do that anyway, but or hurt anybody in the process. That's just not the way that I would operate. They've done fine at damaging themselves. Quite seriously, that's not me trying to be like quippy. That's genuine. They've done a great job of hanging themselves out to dry. So that's not my fault. It's nothing to do with me. But like I say, when you've got that much frustration of people just, I don't know, putting themselves on the plateau, I suppose, and then you see the people fall for it, it's frustrating. And the other thing is as well, is because some of the stuff that they've done was good enough to stand up on its own. Like, I don't know, people in this move, like, if you listen to, I'm going to end on this, and then we'll move on. If you listen to Paul Thorpe's videos over the last couple of days, including the one that he's deleted that I've re-uploaded, because people need to see the whole thing, he released it. Actually, the views he made the last couple of days are quite brilliant, but what he said in both of them, somebody even asked him, I don't know what the direct question was, whether it was, did he move away because of danger, or did he move away, can't remember the exact question, it was about him moving away. And he said, for the second video that I've seen, that he moved away because he wanted to be in that country. It was always his plan. And people have tried to say, oh no, it's because he's facing so much danger when he comes back. The only danger he faces is a possibility of being stopped in customs, not customs, you know what I mean, in the airport, and because there'll be literally nothing on him, he'll probably be released 5 minutes later, just like Tommy was. They've got to have a due cause, they've got to have, so that's it, that's the, I mean, I understand it, by the way, listen, I've told you, I would move out of this country at least for around 6 months of the year if I could. for the winter months because I do struggle. So, you know, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, oh, he's not here, it doesn't matter. You know, so I've said everything I need to say on it, but please understand, the reason I chime in is because I've had to listen to this bullshit, knowing it's bullshit, and it's been frustrating. Really frustrating. Anyway, sorry, I didn't know I was going to talk about it for that long. It's just all been very frustrating, but like I said, hands out there for those who want it. But I was going to get around to the moving forward part, which was supposed to be the majority of the video, and that was the hope part. I don't know how we'll do with the signal here, guys. Yeah, that was the hope part, and I was thinking about the mess of Ben Habib's video that I covered earlier on, and I stand by what I said, that it was the wrong. Hello, hiya. I stand by what I said, that it was the wrong thing to do. I felt it was too aggressive and too passive aggressive and all the rest of it. I do think as well, when you go and stand away from it a little bit and you look at it, it's a bit like work politics. When you join a new job, you can see the work politics going on and you think, I'm not getting involved in that. And then slowly, whether it takes 6 months, a year, 3 years, you eventually get dragged into it. And that kind of leaves you, I don't know, just a bit more detached. And I wonder if that really was a knee-jerk reaction, because look, he lost his temper in that video as much as he was trying not to. And so maybe we should just take it on face value as an angry video. It's one moment in his life, and things just haven't gone the way they wanted to. And so, you know, they've all at various times. Don't forget, they've got people around them as well who are angry, so that gets funneled through to them. So there's going to be a few pissed off people at the moment, regardless of whether it's good or bad for Britain. There's going to be angry people, because someone's got to lose, right? So what if this anger in Ben Habib's case subsides and cooler heads do prevail? Like, the way I was speaking about it earlier on, I realised, like, I was just speaking about it in the moment, and you can't make long-term judgments with stuff like that. That's stupid. So it's, you know, because people, whether we like it or not, people do react in the heat of the moment. What I do believe is, interviews like that, whilst you're still a relatively small party, are a good thing to learn from, so that you don't do them again. If you're feeling like that, don't record. It's the easiest way out of the problem. Even I know that. It really is a better way to do it, because you'll always come up with a better argument or whatever when you're not angry, you know? So yeah, I can understand, like I say, I can understand some of it. It's not one-way traffic. But I just think, in the future, I don't, if they turn this into a war, and a war of words, not only will I be disappointed, but I'll be really surprised, because both of them should be smart enough to know that they probably need each other. Especially if they really want to win a general election. At the moment, we could be seeing just a bit of a pissing contest, both with Rupert having to establish himself as a leader before he can really think about merging and doing all this other stuff. He's got to prove himself first to everybody in his eyes, and then, you know, Advance feel like they've done all the work and people are coming in to scoop it up. Which can happen in politics, and it's tough shit, it's just the way it works. But you can understand both sides, you know? What neither of them want to do is end up filling it up with any fucking ex-Conservative or Labour politicians, not unless they were like young and looking for a career and hadn't made their mind up yet, or something, you know, but not seasoned MPs or anything like that. or seasoned politicians. That's a difficult thing, because people do vote a lot of the time for who they know. They feel comfortable with it. So, but you've got to get people known, you know. This is why I wish a lot of the right that more of us will tolerate and accept would actually, you know, I don't often talk about them joining together. I tell you, no, I don't talk about that. But I'm going to be a hypocrite for a minute. It is kind of a shame that some don't, because it's like with UKIP, you've got Nick Tanconi, who could be really, really cool and have some really, really good arguments toward things, and can do something so well that you could see him being an integral part of any party. You know, it could be really, really, I think it could be a benefit for any single party. So, wait. That was 3 times. No. Sorry. And you got Rupert Lowe, and you got Ben Beebe, you got other people. And that's what we need, is a bunch of faces known, but that come from the right background, not a celebrity list, but people like this. So it would be so much more to their advantage to actually work together. The reason they don't is obvious, or the reasons they don't is obvious. I'm sorry, I'm very dry. Should have brought a drink out with me. And that is that, one, these things are a kind of a business. There's a lot of money going into them. 2, they kind of owe the people that have bought memberships. It's the other part of it. And then there's power share. Who gets what power? Who gets to decide what? I mean, there's so much that would go into it. And whatever anybody says, you're going to lose something. You're going to lose something you care about. You're going to lose some power in your own party, because it's not your own party. It's, you know. So I do get it. And that's what I'm saying. If they need to both be islands, that's fine. As long as they're islands together when it comes to the time of election. As long as we're aimed on winning a general election. We need to get power out of these mad fucks' hands. We really do. So I don't even know how we're going to survive to an election yet. I don't think. So we started the year with violence, right? But that's, you know, New Year. But you know there's more coming, right? You know there's more violence coming. You know that's going to happen. I don't know exactly. I mean, it's not going to be too far off, right? You know there's more coming. We're not going to have a break. We're not going to have a break in. If anything, there's every sign of escalation. So, and the incidents on the streets, by the way, are going up. Just as, when I say incidents, I don't mean robberies. I mean, like, yeah, can't quite call them terrorists. Don't know what to call them, really. Even I don't know what to call them. But, you know, violent weapons, but not quite gang stuff. Just seemed like one group of people versus everybody else, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know. You've got some very hardline people in this country being very hardline against us, beginning to panic because they're seeing the problems. Some are trying to hide it, some aren't, some are freaking out. But there's even people on the left that have begun to freak out because they've realised they can't go back to their hometown and stuff because it doesn't exist anymore. There is stuff happening, but it's all happening too late. It's all happening too late. You know, a few Labour councillors suddenly realising the truth doesn't really rock the boat, does it? You know? I know we've only got 3 viewers on there, but I'm going to carry on as though we've got 300, because it's, why should you get any less? But yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm sorry, I've got a really dry mouth. But I'm not going to lick out the puddle like the pond. I'm not going there just yet. I will catch up with comments in a second. I lost another pair of glasses somehow. So I managed to, after about 45 minutes of looking, which wasted the sunshine, I managed to find them. He's well pissed off. But so yeah, there is kind of hope politically. I mean, don't get me wrong, it really, really does depend. And bear in mind, the strike was a failure. There's no sign of the British rising up at the moment. At the moment. So, a political uprising would be suitable. So the question is, are the British people pissed off enough to break probably every record, to break every trend that's ever been recorded, and vote for a totally new party or parties that has never taken part in a general election before, and give them power? And you may think that's an instant yes. It's not. It's far from it. People have generations of generation voting patterns sometimes that they can't get out of. It's not as simple as you think. Why do you think anybody votes for Starmer at the moment? Some people don't know who else to vote for and they feel that they have to vote. It's that simple. So yeah, sorry, 1 second. It's impossible to walk where I am at the moment. Anyway, sorry, the point being is that they could, obviously I don't know what money advance, I don't keep as much of an eye on some of you do, but God, it's like I'm punch drunk, isn't it? You know, those fighters doing that, CTE. I did used to do loads of stunts, that's why I got that out of my head. Makes me wonder. I only knocked myself out twice, so there's not like a load of concussions. So yeah, I should be fine. I'm worrying about CTE. Fucking dick. Right, fuck, I've looked at some comments, can't believe I just said that. CTE. I basically had, I probably had 4 head traumas because I crashed my bike, got knocked out, came off my scooter, got knocked out for a moment at least. Oh, does it matter? Fuck it. Why am I counting this? It's depressing. Right. Remember, I can only see about a third of the comments, guys, so that's my bad luck, I'm afraid. Nah, it's not good enough, Steve. You missed it because you just don't love me as much as you used to, mate. And I'm broken-hearted. Valentine's Day came and went. Did I get a love letter? No. Steve? Thought you cared. But I was wrong. Yeah, well, the thing is about Richard serving Northern Ireland. This is... No, sorry. Not about Richard serving Northern Ireland. Let me start again. About anybody who has served in the military. It's very difficult for me. Because I'm a civilian. I have family members that have served in the military, but that's not the same. Because I'm a civilian, I couldn't join the army if I wanted to, because and I wanted to because of my feet, because of the way I walk, because of this muscle wasting disease. Although they didn't know what it was, they treat it like you're fat-footed. It's the same. They treat it exactly the same, or they used to treat it exactly the same way. They wouldn't let you. Even now, they wouldn't let you join it. You're just not as coordinated and things as you should be. So. Not that I'm saying I would have been any good anyway, but that kind of was a non-starter, do you know what I mean? It was a bit gutted because, like I say, my brother had done it, so I kind of felt like, you know, if it's, maybe it's in the family. I don't know, I'll never know. I'll never know. There'd been snipers in the family, although I was a terrible shooter up until I was about 16. I got better then, but I was terrible up until then, so I don't know if I did quite as well as the others. So yeah, maybe it skipped a generation. I don't know. But no, with the being in the military stuff, this is what's difficult for me as a civilian, because you don't want to criticise any veteran, but at the same time, this is not about Richard, this is about everybody. You can't use a veteran card like a race card either. And very occasionally, not often, I'm so pleased to say, but very occasionally, there's been a few bad actors that have done exactly that. And fortunately, when the rest of their community finds out, they do come down pretty hard on them. But in the meantime, you know, so I'm not suggesting that's the same with Richard. I'm just saying, you know, for a civilian, it's difficult when you're criticising a veteran because of the service, because you do respect that. But then again, as I said, it's not so hard for me personally, because I was always friends with Richard anyway. I don't think I've ever had a cross word with him, like in face to face. Not because we're scared of each other, just because we get, like, we've always got on. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't be any clearer on that. I mean, we really did used to get on. We'd have long conversations, and we'd come up with a lot of ideas. That's one thing I'll say to you. He's got lots and lots and lots of fucking ideas. He's the sort of guy that, yeah, you can organise a lot of stuff with. So he's got so many good traits. So, yeah, the idea that I hate any of these people is a bit over the top. You know, I hate people that rape children. You know, how about that for a measuring stick of where my hatred would belong? You know? Ha. True. But truly, right? That's funny as fuck, Steve. Yeah, so, like, the reason I don't think we've got many people on, by the way, is either because somebody else is live, or because I've used up my, not only that, but I knew there'd be a bit of disappointment when I it doesn't matter. There's always a boost when there's a bit of drama. It's just YouTube. It's just YouTube, I'm afraid to say. But yeah, so I think politically there is hope. Things I base it on are what we've already talked about, and the fact that I think they need each other, or one's got to poach all the other's talent and not need the other one. But one way or another, they need to evolve so that there's just one dominant force. I think that would be better, and that could easily happen. That probably will happen at some point. It may take a couple of years, but I think it's possible. It is possible. But also, Starmer was about to go. And we see that he's got this big victory, but he's had to do the U-turn on the elections. And the word coming out of supposed Labour Party people was that they didn't want to do these, local elections after running for leadership. Because what leader wants to go into elections they know they're going to get smashed in? So it was very much leading to the idea that they want Starmer to take the fall for the elections, and then the knives come out after that sometime in May or June. With all the, I wouldn't normally even bother talking about this shit, but with all the other stuff that's been going on of late, and the manoeuvring, and the fact that so many people have come out and said no Prime Minister in history has got to this stage without losing their premiership within like a year or 6 months, depending on who you listen to. I think he really actually may be out in May or June. So the reason that's now significant to me is because if we've got a forming real right wing growing in this movement, regardless of early problems, regardless of teething problems and egos. They'll get over it. They will. They'll get over it, and if they don't get over it, then someone will lose, and the other one will we'll all be fine, is what I'm trying to say. So I wouldn't get too wound up about stuff and get too tribal about it. Just let them fight it out. The best will win, or they'll join together. Either way, you're the winner. As long as you've got the right people in the right places. That's all that matters. And they're carrying the right message. And they mean to see it through. And then, like I said earlier, and then we find out, for real, if you put people in Parliament who you truly believe are willing to make all those changes that they're promising, then we get to find out whether they have the power that we think they do, and the will. But if the will's there, and because I know a lot of people truly believe in these people, I don't know them well enough to say that, but I know many of you do. So if you believe they have the will, then it would simply come down to, then, is there anybody or anything that can block them? We're going to find out if we keep going down this road. But like I say, it's going to take a lot of brave people, and people will laugh when I say brave, but I mean braveness in the polling booth. Not to listen to other people shaming you, or other people's brainwashing of you when you were younger, or whatever else. What you do in that polling booth is yours. It's one of the very few things that you're actually sovereign to still. It's yours. And nobody should be guilty. Oh, don't split the vote, don't do this, don't do that. The vote's yours. If you want to split the vote, split it. It's yours. There's worse things than standing under Starmer or his government. And before you say, what? I'm talking about the Green Party. That's the other dilemma we're facing, is if we don't get it right on the right, if we don't sort this shit out and we don't grow up and blah, 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 blah. I'm not talking about us as activists, I'm talking about the politicians. We don't need to. But if they don't, then I am speaking to people in daily life that are telling me they're going to vote for the Green Party. It's become the new sane choice. It's become the new middle ground choice. It's not middle ground at all, by the way. The politics is not remotely middle ground. But it's become the new middle ground. What in people, these leftist heads, some leftist heads, is middle ground. I don't think they've quite seen the policies on Gaza. And I mean that, like, some of these people would be dumb to that kind of, not dumb, but not that, you know, just not interested in things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. But there's a lot of people saying the name Green Party, and it's like, again, what people say and what they do, two different things, but still, a lot of people talking about them. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. But then again, is it that crazy when there's like this black, I say black, I say she's black, but she's got light skin black. She's like a nurse at like a local place. She's actually really cool. She's really cool. But surprise, surprise, she ended up being on the left. And I did think of talking to her, and even to her, listening to her politics, because I asked. She didn't push it on me, I asked. Because I was prepared to listen without letting her know too much. And she was really cool. And she didn't go on about socialism or nothing like that. She just talked about voting for the Green Party. But I think she sort of knew she was a bit displaced from really knowing policy. And she never mentioned racism or far right or right wing, anything like that. It was just a choice. And I thought, fuck, I remember when politics used to be like this. I miss this. Because she was just decent, we still got on, and I thought I could have a beer with you. You know, probably shouldn't get too heavy into the politics, but I could have a beer with you, do you know what I mean? That's what it used to be like. You know, what's happened? What, you know, is it... I can never decide if it's to their benefit or detriment to have so many of us involved in politics. But it's not new news, is it, to say to you that whether I go to a gaming forum, an astronomy forum, Facebook group about tits, a bird watching group, a YouTube channel about boxes, or a porn piece about puff pies, there's going to be Brexit, Donald Trump, or some other fucking political bollocks wedged into it somewhere, because you just cannot escape it. I hate this side of the world at the moment, because, like, for me, doing what I do and trying to make it better, especially for doing what I do, in the old days, like, you had breathing room between videos and stuff, but it's just like, there's just so, you know, I don't know, like, there's a way of making YouTube videos, yeah, and I'm deliberately not doing it because it's slop. And it's not, I'm not talking about AI, it's bringing up the same talk. What I'm supposed to do to you, notice I said, is bring up the same talking points as every fucker else. That's what YouTube's advising me to do, to grow my channel. I'm supposed to engage you with patronising topics, treat you like fucking idiots, hold polls to 5 of you, and just engage you in ways that will feel so artificial, I would look like a desperate whore. I'm not doing it. And I just hate this whole industry. I'm in the wrong... When I started this, it was new media. It was cool, because it was new media, and, you know, I was kind of doing half-decent videos when I could be bothered. And that, you know, I didn't put enough effort in. I hold my hand up, because I can do a lot better than you've seen, and just, I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's a long story. But yeah, there's this, I don't know. But at the same time, when I did start typing my videos up, and making them look better, people used to go, nah, Tom, nah. And I go, what? Fuck's that, I'm just making it look nice. And I'd get, don't want all the stars, and I'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then the other set of people would demand it. Not because they liked it, just because they would demand have that sort of... But what you got to do now, I mean, is real slop. I mean, it's sloppy behaviour. WWE, the Influencer Network of America, and now the Influencer Network of Britain, the UFC, boxing, maybe a couple of other things have all linked up, and now the people are interminglable. And they are meeting each other and collabing with each other, click farming. And there's a lot of... I told you this would happen maybe 2 years ago now, and I've kept making videos about it since, about how the WWE business talk was going to spill into the mainstream because of the podcast, because of the... Yeah, because of many things, and it has. You're starting to hear people say the word, even me, words like receipts, and these all come originally from this. Most of these things come originally from this business. But I think a lot of people have missed the point of the business, or they've got it dead on. You Logan Pauls, people in this movement, and that is some of the things that you learn about the business is you're either a worker or a mark. And you're best off being a worker. And the reason for that is you could say you're either a showman or an audience member, and that would be the most polite way you could put it. But a mark is a C-U-N-T, someone who pays money to watch you bullshit a fight, because it comes from carnival background, back in the days when people used to believe it. So the idea was that they were carnies and you were fools. So you used to have something called kayfabe, and kayfabe was an umbrella term for all of the other terms hidden within the wrestling industry. Of course, all of that's since died out. So now these words have spilled out into the mainstream because the influencers and the UFC stars and other people are all hanging around each other, and things are getting out, which is what happened with the Roger Jackson incident. And the reason he beat a man to death nearly was because he tried to use the word receipt as an excuse, which receipt doesn't mean beat a man to death. It means if someone's done something to you, like say in a wrestling ring, it's choreographed, right? But if someone hits you, so you're supposed to hit each other, just not too hard. So if someone hits you and they call it potato you, if they potato you, which means they've hit you way too fucking hard and knocked you senseless, then they're gonna get a receipt most likely. Which means at some point, at some move that's supposed to maybe look good, they're gonna make it look extra special because they're gonna get you back, and you're gonna know why they did it. You're going to know it's coming, and you're going to have to accept it or have a fight in the ring, which you can't do because real fights look terrible. So yeah, or a receipt was something that would happen maybe more as a rib. So someone would do something wrong in the ring, and maybe someone would play a practical joke on them outside the ring to get them back. That would still be considered a receipt. You got all these terms, some much more meaningful than others. I can't bring them all into my head at the moment because there's thousands of them. Zulus, thousands of them. But no, there's thousands of them. I'm trying to think. A terrible way. Oh, so okay. So sometimes this is one that I should share with you. When I come on here, sometimes I say I won't sell it, or they won't. I'll write to them, but they won't sell it. So again, there's some people who will know this already, but if I say that in a wrestling ring, again, I'm not a huge fan of wrestling or anything. It's the business that I learned about, and also the research into the Roger Jackson thing, all these things. Anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about now. For fuck's sake. One second. Oh, do you know what? I actually had it back in my head then. Sort of know what I was talking about, but I want the exact. Nope. Fuck it. In which case, we'll have a musical interlude. Now, it's actually really fucking beautiful. That's why I'm showing you that. So I'll shut up for a second because it is beautiful. I mean, not to look at. I mean, it feels really, really nice. It's done nothing but rain since September. We had a beautiful summer. September came and it's just been raining ever since. We've had nothing but water. All this place is just covered in water. So to have a warm sun and a nice day, I'll take it. I'll take it. Sorry, my mind's all over the place because so I try, when I talk about this stuff with the WWE and the wrestling industry and the influence industry and all the rest of it, there's so many names and so many moving parts to it. Some of you will know because you'll watch some of the same channels, but whether you're going from Joe Rogan to Brendan Schaub to, and if you know about Brendan Schaub, you do. If you don't, you don't. Homeless cats. There's things like that, all the way to people like Star Wars Theory, and then there's people like fucking Neon, weirdos like that, and then you've got your CoffeeZilla types, your Penguin OO types. I mean, so I don't watch all their videos, but my point of it is I'm very aware of their scene. So when I talk about subjects like this, sometimes it's a bit much because I'm also putting it with all of the memories I've got from about the business, the wrestling and everything, and sometimes it's just a bit much to try and put it all together because it's just, there's a lot of info there. It's really stuff I should probably write out. I keep meaning to, if I'm honest. It's one of the few subjects where I probably know enough just to write out something that would make more sense than me trying to explain it walking around a field, because it's a little bit too complex. Not hard to understand, just complex to explain off the top of your head, because you're talking about quite a long, yeah. So we'll have a look at that. But it's okay because, like I say, yeah, it's fucking hell, it's beautiful. Sorry. I'm really, like, I've missed this. It hasn't been like this once since, in terms of warmth, sun, hasn't been like this since, I don't know, I can't even think, end of September, early October. It's been a long winter for me. So, I'll take that. Sorry, it's derailed me completely. When I came down there, that's where I came down. I lost it because I just thought I've missed this so much. This is what's going to help me get busy for summer. It's all my joints, everything. I feel so much better. I want to walk. I want to do stuff. I'm solar powered. I've worked it out after all this time. I'm solar powered. But every time I get in the sunshine, it makes me feel so much better. Especially now it's warming up. It feels beautiful. And this is what gives me like the drive that, okay, right, I'm going to do some stuff. Because I'm getting other things sorted in the background. I've done other stuff in the foreground as well. Me and Vin got some stuff cool coming up. And yeah, so it's all there. It's all there. It's all grabbable. There's nothing going on at the moment that is... Like in the past, I felt like I kept setting the bar too high and it was unattainable. But I feel like everything that's got lined up at the moment probably will happen. It's almost, I would say it's almost certain. So there's some things to look out for, and I'm excited about it. Yeah, I want to keep up with it. I want to make sure everything works out. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you will come on a journey. Because I do like doing the talks and I do like doing the videos and stuff like that, but I also don't want to, while I'm still young enough, I don't want to waste the opportunity to do stuff, interview people and do the things that I can do while I still can do it. So that needs to be done while I'm younger than older, do you know what I mean? So, do you know what I mean? So yeah. Do you know what I mean? Fucking... I've got to stop all that shit if I'm going to start interviewing people again, haven't I? Mind you, I used to never do any of that when I was interviewing people. I used to just flick a switch and, you know. Oh, what happened there? %. I was thinking about getting something myself, so 47%. I can feel it, mate. Yeah, I can believe it. I can feel it. It feels like my skin temperature is probably about 18, 19 degrees. You know, on the outside. I mean, around it. Whereas the air temperature's say 12. So it really does feel like it's heating me up a lot. I'm burning. Yeah. So. Right, I think I've run out of things to talk about, so off with you. Go. Leave! Leave! No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Thanks for joining me. I think I've worn myself out for today, if I'm honest, which is a good thing because obviously it's our job to kind of talk about what's going on. But there's been some frustration. But as I said, frustration is not the same as hatred, jealousy, and all these other things that have been ascribed to me and others. And I hope people realise that now. The only thing that has ever been said is we're all human, all our shit stinks, and idolising anybody is just a little bit silly in this day and age. Yeah, you know, don't believe everything from anybody, including us. You never know. So, and that's it. But it just turns into something bigger because people make it something bigger. Anyway, Tom Fury, 0 News, calling it a day for now.